Oh yeah, we pressed it.
Game on.
Are we live?
We're live. We got people. What up? Our hardcore true believers, our memers,
I love them.
I just realized it's Christmas on Monday. Do you know that, Josh? I think that's actually a PSA to anybody else who's just tuning in right now. Like, it is Christmas on Monday.
Honestly, it shocks me every time I remember. Truly, I'm like planning on it. I was like, you canceled our one-on-one on Monday, and I was like, oh, what's Jess doing Monday? And
how dare
like,
you?
Oh, right.
Yeah. It's also that it's like been the warmest winter here in a long time. Really, like this time last year we had snow on the ground. We just don't have that here today. So
true.
I don't know. Pre-happy Christmas to Merry Holidays, whatever we're supposed to say these days to those who are relevant to that such thing, etc.
Happy end of the year, at the very least.
Happy early year, yes, exactly.
Happy.
It's been a big year.
To my pagan, to my witchy fam out there.
That's really what my parents have started celebrating with their they got hippie roots and they live in like the hippie version of like our small area, and solstice is the big party in their neighborhood. Feels right, because to me, it's dark here at like 4:15 right now, and that is like the most depressing thing ever. And so today, from now on until this time next year, until the middle of the summer, life is just going to get better. It's like programmed in. It's written on the earth chain.
Yeah.
Nice. Longer days are programmed.
Yes, exactly. Green candles only.
up only.
Oh, boy.
Love it.
Lovely. We got Pete. We got Lucas in the chat. We got Mern's holding it down. World 5. We got Steph Delph. How do people with these like? Do I call you by your ETH name? I know who you are in real? We hugged before. Or should I call you? I'm just, I don't know. This is complicated. Peace Note is only Peace Note to me. Honestly, I don't even know Peace's real name, which still was the thing I'm trying to get at. So if anybody can leak some of that alpha, that'd be wonderful. Not in chat. We don't want to, but to me personally, that'd be great. Thank you. How we doing, Peace?
Oh, super good. Well, it's kind of convenient, right? Because you never have to be like, you never have to wonder. You're going to a meeting with me. You'll never wonder what my name is because I'm using my screen name.
That's true.
I truly don't want to know. I truly don't want
to you've
know.
Avoided
you're like a god. You're a god. You're a god in my mind, and I just don't want it. I just don't want that to change. I don't want to humanize you.
Wow. Okay. I don't want that to change either. This is great.
Alrighty. Well, we got a fun show lined up here today.
Santa
we got our coffee. Oh, you got the Santa mug. I got the propaganda mug.
I'm home.
You also have a propaganda mug.
Parents.
That's the Coca-Cola propaganda mug.
Different type. Yeah.
It's all meme coins everywhere. Some of them just show up as ceramics.
True.
All right. Peace. Let's do this.
Let's do it. Oh, we gotta. Okay. Let me hop back over here.
Start. Gotta make episode 8.
GM episode 8. Snowman episode right before Christmas. Oh, it feels good. Welcome to Internet Explorers, a place where we apparently talk about meme coins and only meme coins now, because that's all that happens on the internet. So another jam-packed show for you today. I'm Jess. Of course, you all know us. Here with Josh and Peace on the VJ screen. How you doing, guys?
We're doing well. I'm a little tired. I'm back in my hometown. Had a couple beers with some friends Wednesday and just like can't hang like I used to. We're still dealing with it, but we're rallying.
My favorite was, we're going to talk about co-links later, but Josh were on it yesterday and he's like, I didn't buy your link. It's like 2 a.m. purchase time. So I think Josh was out there drinking 2 beers with his friends in rural Ontario.
You were like, were you drinking? You're like, were you drinking last night? I was like, I was actually. Shit.
You were definitely.
Am I on co-links? Like back from the bar? Yeah.
I love it. All right, we got a bunch to get into today. We're going to talk more meme coins. Obviously, Solana. Good God, should we have all bought way more? Yes, obviously. We're still going to have to emotionally deal with that over Christmas. That's okay. Some new products that are coming out, protocol rewards, and then a juicy lightning round, because we just haven't been able to get into the lightning round recently, and I just love it. So we're going to get into that. A reminder that this episode is mintable on the pods.media platform. You can do it right from the live stream at live.seedclub.xyz. I think we're streaming out to a whole bunch of new places today. I think we're on the Instagram today. We're on the YouTubes. We're on the Twitters. There's joining us from any of those places, place to jump in and chat with us is at live.seedclub.xyz. We're here every Friday morning at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern, and some other time around the world, because I think we have people who tune in from around the world, which is just lovely, absolutely lovely. I'm going to remind people a few times, because we have this deep desire to psyop corporate bureaucracy by going in and streaming to LinkedIn. You might have seen a tweet earlier this week. We're trying to get in there. We need 150 friends to like us there, though, and I think we're at 79 right now, which shows just the depths of our connections and how often you guys are hanging out on LinkedIn, which is why we love you deeply. But if you have a LinkedIn account, I think somebody will drop it in the chat here, go give us a follow. We want to, I mean, literally I logged in there today and I saw a live stream, and it was the most boomer live stream ever talking about crypto. So we got to change that dynamic. It's just not fun. It's not interesting. It's definitely not Internet Explorer. So give us some love on LinkedIn. That's the ad for today. I'm gonna spam chat with that, because we gotta get to 150. Come on, we can get to 150. I had to spam my personal connections from when I was working in the finance world to go get 30 people there. Yeah. So
I just kept waiting, hoping I was not going to have to do that and tap into my past, and it looks like I'm going to have to. So we'll be there next week.
You're telling me you haven't done that yet, Josh?
Oh, I haven't. No, I haven't. I've been letting you do the hurt. Yeah, no, I haven't.
Bro. Okay, well, that's disappointing. So, yeah. All right. Well, oh yeah. The other thing is we sent a tweet out earlier, coin expert to come join us on this one. Fortunately, that fell through. There were so many awesome people that were dropped in that thread, and from schedule, we dropped the ball there a little bit. But maybe we'll get some more awesome people on. I think having guests on this has been a lot of fun. But today it's the three of us, and I mean, we're good enough. We're good enough for today.
Oh, we got some thoughts on meme coins.
We got some thoughts. All right, well, let's jump into it.
All right, let's get into it. So, yeah, have kind of a big meme coin category here. I think within this fatter meme coin category, there are, I think, kind of three core areas I want to touch on. Solana, of course. I think there's some interesting meme coin development on Farcaster, and then just kind of want to get into just a little bit about why meme coins, why are they actually interesting, and maybe what we think about the future with them is going to look like. And we also have the great idea of, alongside this piece, was just going to degen away 5 sol on some meme coins. So hopefully there's some good entertainment value while we're talking about this. So Pete, when you find some, drop your favorite Solana meme coins for Peace to fuck around with. We'll see how much he's up or down at the end of the show. So yeah, maybe just to kick it off. I mean, the general meta of the week was just that meme coins are going crazy. I think generally, as the crypto winter thaws, prices go up, people start flowing back into crypto. Meme coins just capture a bunch of that renewed attention. It's a pretty common entry point for first time crypto users, and just re-entry point for people when they come back in. I think earlier this year, Pepe launched to over $1 billion valuation on ETH. Then I think Meme launched to a $2 billion market cap right away. And then I think really recently, with the surge in Solana activity and attention, Bonk hit a $2 billion market cap. It's really just kicked off this insane couple weeks of Solana meme coin activity that we've been a part of. So yeah, maybe to start off with Solana, I think the really interesting thing here is kind of the reflexivity that's at play between Solana narratives, the sol price, and meme coin activity. So that I think earlier, back in March, when was Breakpoint? I don't know. But after there were a bunch of Breakpoint announcements, which kind of renewed some broad interest in the chain. And this was compounded by a big Jito airdrop, created this big wealth effect, and I think a lot of farming activity came in. And then as people started using the chain again, I think naturally they were just looking for more stuff to do beyond just parking money in DeFi protocols and lending protocols, and started trading meme coins and NFTs. And I think interestingly, meme coins are just a very good way to experience the cheap and fast transactions of Solana, and are pretty immediately eye-opening for anyone that spent too much time on ETH mainnet, and you realize that you can just not worry about gas at all and just fucking ape away and just have fun. So I think this is the core meme coin experience being trying to find newly launched coins that blow up with these essentially free transactions. Not only is there way more supply, but there's also you can, with $100, you can put $20 on 5 coins, whereas ETH, you can maybe do one, pay gas and not have enough gas to even get out. So I think just like and then, this increased activity and the kind of like re-solidifying of these narratives drives, more demand for Sol, which drives more attention, which then kind of, it just has this compounding effect. So Jess, what are you taking away from all this Solana meme coin activity?
Yeah, I mean, I think like I think what happens, right? Somebody described it as like, it feels like we're just playing games with friends right now, rather than maybe a year or two ago, where there's sort of this frothiness of other people coming in. And to me, this whole thing just reminds me of like where we were in 2020, right? Like it was this sort of like, the rest of the world's not paying attention to crypto. People who've been here for a long time are, having fun doing these sort of things. And it actually is incredibly impactful, because I think there's so many projects, teams that are sort of sitting on the sidelines with big announcements or launching wanting to put a token out into the world, that are waiting for some sentiment change to happen. And so this sort of in-group trading creates this sort of bubble up effect, and Solana narrative, all this sort of stuff, I think now creates a space where people go, oh, energy's back. I don't want to be late to this party. I'm going to get out. And so I think it's this sort of self-fulfilling prophecy that sort of starts kicking off. And of course, on top of it, in the ETH DeFi summer, all of a sudden a bunch of people had a bunch of money that nobody really treated like money, because they just got it so quickly and freely, and that gets sort of spread out into the ecosystems. And so I think that's what we're seeing happening now on Solana, and I think even broadly across the ecosystem. And I think it's just an early precursor to the types of things that will just continue to bring more and more and more momentum and attention to crypto generally. So I love that. I think the other thing is, like, specifically in Solana, like, Jito airdrop is a big deal. There's billions of dollars worth of new value being distributed in that ecosystem, and people are going to go fuck around with it, frankly. And that's what's happening right now. And so, if we were looking maybe 6 months, 8 months ago, that Solana didn't, definitely had the infrastructure, but most people didn't really know about it, and there wasn't as much liquidity. And now there is liquidity. And I think what people are realizing is they're going, oh, Solana experience is actually, in many cases, way better than anywhere else. And so clearly we're seeing that in the price, which I think we'll get into the next little while. But it just seems like the most internet native way. It's like memes are to Web 2 what meme coins are to Web 3. And I don't know. I think clearly I struggle with like the long-term value of a lot of these things, but it's just not even the right question to ask here. This is pure fun. This is, it is definitely closer to sports betting. It's being part of a thing. It's entertainment value here. I think most people treat it as such, but I think for some people who are launching and building, and definitely as we sort of saw in the points ecosystem we talked about last week, can be a fairly intense thing for builders to be a part of. So I think this, like, where does that long-term repeatable value come from? Is still a big question for anybody launching tokens, and the likelihood that we'll have like any of these really sustained beyond maybe 1 or 2 is pretty low. But it's really about the friends they made along the way. Yeah,
it's just about having fun buying boner or whatever.
What do you? Oh my God, Beeple is just destroying my feed right now. It's the group chats I'm in where people send questionable stuff. That was a very popular post.
Yeah, that's funny.
People, oh my God.
I think one of actually the more interesting things in the past few weeks, after like Bonk very much became the kind of like cultural rallying point of Solana, right? Like anyone that's like a deep Solana believer had to have some Bonk. Everyone was celebrating it going up, and then you kind of saw the effect of that on other chains, right? Like the meme coins on other chains started like competing to be like the kind of core cultural shelling point for the chain. So I think like AVAX had kind of an interesting battle between, I think it was like Cock and I forget the other one. And they were like, for a while they were kind of leg and leg, both kind of vying for like the core cultural shelling point meme. And then one took off, the other one dumped, and everyone kind of, I guess, chose a winner. And kind of seeing that play out everywhere. I think,
it makes sense that there'll be one winner.
Same thing.
Yeah, there'll be one winner in each sort of subculture. And I mean, I think you have an opinion on meme coins. I think you believe every meme will have a meme coin at some point. Is that right?
I believe, 100%. I think everything, every brand, every belief system, every city, like everything that is a piece of someone's identity is going to have a meme coin that like the people who really believe around it and want to like coordinate around it and have fun around it are gonna kind of show up around. I think it's just like, it just feels entirely obvious at this point, just spending time, you know, in these like early kind of narrative formation, like meme group chats, and just like, you know, they show up because of the underlying meme, and, you know, they know, you know, it's like a filter, right? Like people who are like me are here, but then the actual like cultural creation that happens because of the meme coin is actually crazy. Like there's a ton of just like grassroots, like they're creating memes because they want to propagate the, you know, the kind of core underlying meme. So I think it's just like a really strong like community dynamic.
This chat is hilarious. I aped into ANALOS yesterday. It's up 40% today. What are you in right now here, Peace? What are you actually doing here on the screen?
I'm hella annoyed because there's no way I can't find a way to switch accounts.
Okay. Peace, go to if you can either, I think you can just buy straight from either Deck Screener, or if you go to Bird Eye, I was using Bird Eye, you can buy straight from there.
Right, but the kicker is, maybe that actually is just like looks better.
Well, that's piece of screen is like, okay, what looks good first? Let me go there.
He's trying to buy some dog. He's trying to buy some dog. Cool.
Man, I already missed it. Look at this. It's awesome.
Oh, it's still going, baby.
They're doing great.
Oh, you're not missing it. Yeah. There's lots of them.
All right. Well, we're trading with my account today, so why not?
Well, good luck. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, keep us updated when you find something funny. Chime in. Okay, cool. So I guess like maybe moving on from kind of what's happening in Solana. We talked last week about points and its emergence as, you know, kind of the first Farcaster meme coin, and, you know, it's plodding along. Actually had some interesting developments over the last week. I think the, you know, dev wanted out, stepped away. You know, some good people kind of stewarding its transition over to the community, and it's kind of, you know, off to the races now. But I think like more interestingly, it's like really scaled up the degen activity on Farcaster. Like I was looking at the stats earlier today, and the degen channel on Farcaster has like 3 times more activity than any other channel.
It's so crazy looking just at like,
it wasn't like that pre-points. Yeah.
Even just general like signups to Farcaster, you can just see this huge spike. And I think Carlos from Forefront tweeted about it the other day, and I mean, clearly it's a powerful growth hack for these ecosystems, especially ones that aren't really putting token first. Like I think Farcaster is very unlikely to launch a token, or at least this team definitely hasn't signaled that. And then, but so there's sort of this like, you know, grassroots growth, you know, meme coin kind of emerging from it and driving new signups. And I think like if I'm running a platform protocol out there, I'm really hoping somebody comes and launches a meme coin on my thing, because of, you know, that's what people are there for, truly. I think, yeah, it is interesting to see like there's all these, when meme coins start popping off, you get this whole, that's a big red candle. That's a buy opportunity right there. Yeah.
Wait, that's the token. The token is called oversold, which is just amazing.
Send it to zero.
Zero.
The right thing to do.
Amazing.
There's this whole conversation obviously bubbles up around speculation and gambling and casinos, and, you know, I think there's so many folks, you know, me included, looking for sort of these things that break beyond just purely like the pure speculation. But I think you know, trying to apply this, you know, black and white filter to our meme coins or just speculation good is just like a very unhelpful mental framework for anybody building here. And, you know, I think the speculation interest is a precursor to, you know, being able to go do other things. And I think, you know, it's probably one of the core benefits and things that we actually have to work with here is trying to like launch new things. So,
yep.
Yeah, just, all this is repeating. I just having such flashbacks to 2020, man. I know. With base and Few and meme and all this sort of stuff. It's just it repeats or rhymes, I guess.
It's funny. I think one fun thing from the emergence of kind of the Farcaster, I guess, degen subculture is that like a lot of people who are very anti-speculation or historically have been pretty anti-meme coin, like starting to get a taste for it, and the Brooklyn elite, like just have the Brooklyn elite, like having no choice but to admit how fun it is and captivating it is. So anyways, I want to talk about a few. So I think like what's funny about I guess like the road that Points paves on Farcaster is because of how like builder centric of an audience Farcaster has. All the meme coins that are now launching behind it, they're not just these like copycat, like kind of get rich quick. I'm going to jump on a different meme and launch the same thing. They're actually like seemingly novel experiments within meme coins, which is pretty cool. So I think two that are worth talking about. We start with Yo-Yo. So Yo-Yo is a meme coin. Basically, it's a meme coin on the bonding curve. Has like a native trading front end instead of a typical like liquidity based pool and market making where trading largely happens on a DEX like what Pieces is doing right now. So I think it's just it was interesting just kind of thinking through like the pros and cons of this approach. I think in my mind, like pros are you have trusted liquidity. I think if you spend a lot of time buying very new coins on Solana, like a large percentage of them end up being rugs. Like the liquidity gets pulled, no one's willing to add it, move on, your money's gone. So I think that the like having a trusted liquidity pool in a bonding curve is kind of interesting. I think the ability to like own the trading experience and you could build some social features, you could have leaderboards, you could do cool stuff there is maybe also interesting. Obviously, Jess, maybe you want to talk to the cons because I know you're.
Yeah. Can't even put. I don't know. Try to put words to it, and I think you smashed most of those words down. It felt less risky and therefore less fun, or like this sort of. I think what it made was behind any of these DEXs are bonding curves ultimately, but it's like abstracted away into this different form factor that maybe we're just more used to, or I'm more used to. And when you see something on a bonding curve, it feels like that, like the game of like, I want to be in this until clearly it's going down, and I want to really make sure I'm not the last one out, which is of course the same thing in on a DEX, but it just felt different there. So I don't know if I can kind of put my finger on it. I was like, I'm going to buy some of these things. Then it went up, and then I woke up the next morning, it was down. I'm like, okay, I'm out of this. I don't think definitely would do that with Points or anything like that. I'm still, a minor holder of that just for the funds of it. So I do think like the adding of like leaderboards or other social features around it is actually a really interesting place there. Just, what is that sort of UX experience that allows you to sort of, lean into having more of a centralized or sort of a trading screen that you own.
Yeah, totally. I think like one of the definitely major downsides of it right now, besides the ones you mentioned, is you're not tapping into this like ecosystem of DEXs and like decentralized trading interfaces where like the vast majority of these meme coins actually get discovered and ultimately like propagated through Twitter and chat groups and stuff, but they really come from people like scavenging these for just like newly launched coins, memes. Exactly what Piece is doing. So I think you're putting a lot more of the distribution weight on yourself if you're trying to like own experience. But I do think I actually saw it. Like you can, even though it's traded on a bonding curve, there's still ERC20s that you own. So you could also create a liquidity pool. So that like, and then there's some like weird dynamics between like bonding curve, liquidity pool, selling options. I don't know. But anyways,
I think my general take is anybody doing something new and interesting there, well worthwhile.
Good.
But I think it is kind of mine was like, that's my take.
Okay, totally.
Not quite.
Yeah, agreed. And then the second one I wanted to call it is spam. So kind of formed in the same way actually as Points. Like someone actually, I think it was the Base Paint, the guy who started Base Paint, just tweeted out the idea for spam. Yeah, exactly what Piece has up here, which is like it's cool because it kind of bakes in the like virality gamification and like rewarding of propagating the meme. So basically created spam, and if you use Farcaster and tag spam in your casts, you get that's basically like how you mine some percentage of the coins. Then you can go back the next day, and I think based on your streak, based on maybe the quality of the post or engagement or something, you get like multipliers of points. So it kind of like has this interesting like rewards mechanism baked into it that I think is kind of interesting. And you can see if you kind of if you build kind of like an abstracted contract there, like you could see that kind of being a normal go to market almost for meme coins, where like some percentage goes to liquidity pool, some percentage goes to this like rewards thing that people can go tap into to like promote it. And because Farcaster is decentralized and on chain, it's pretty easy to like programmatically just reward that stuff.
Yeah,
so pretty cool.
Like the medium with which these memes travel through are part of the meme coin. And so I think like in Solana, that's clearly Telegram, and for probably most meme coins as well. But Farcaster, I think, provides a new level of interactivity and that you can do because of how available the data is, and you can kind of build on top of. So yeah, it's definitely a place to see where some more innovations happening in meme coins. I think that the challenge I have with that is like innovation is truly not what people are searching for here with memes, right? Like it is
for sure.
And in many cases, the complication there can get in the way. But yeah, I think that's this idea of how do you distribute tokens to people who are actually pushing the meme forward without having to have somebody own and control a contract or a multi-sig or a DAO or something like that, I think is super interesting.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, so check out Farcaster. It seems like there's a lot of appetite for kind of running these novel meme coin experiments. So hanging out there can, I don't know, you can have some fun, get you in early maybe to something. It's a good product. Cool. So now, yeah, I think like last meme coin category I wanted to talk about was just maybe like the future, just brief chat on like the future of meme coins. Like I think what's interesting, you know, you talked about, you know, this feeling similar to 2020. I think like Dogecoin has been around for almost like a decade now, maintained over an $8 billion market cap during the bear. Like meme coins have product market fit, right? Like I was looking at a chart, actually, piece I dropped it. I don't know if you want to open it up. Also feel free to just continue trading. But
we got access denied. Access was denied on those charts, unfortunately. And I'm too busy scalping reverse silly.
Yeah, let the man.
Right
let the man.
Cook. Let the man cook. Let the man Anyways,
cook, exactly.
But yeah, I was looking at a chart on Dune where it was showing like meme coin trader retention on like a bunch of the top meme coins of the past, and like it would have product builders drooling. It's like month 1 retention was like 60%, and I think month 6 retention was like 30%. So people trading meme coins on month 1 are still trading meme coins on month 6. Like that is like a sticky experience. And then I think just like anecdotally, like trading meme coins and participating in these, like the early kind of community narrative formation and meming is just fun as hell. And people are spending a ton of time doing it. And it's clearly a very like sticky, powerful social experience. So like meme coins have product market fit. They're not going away. Like this is a thing. Yeah, I think, you know, you mentioned earlier, like I'm pretty confident that everything is going to have a meme coin. I think really what I'm excited for is like meme coins being used as like primitives for new products. So have just, I don't know, the whole week, my mind's just been racing on like how you can just like use meme coins as this kind of base for like more constrained social products. But curious, yeah, where do you think this is going?
Yeah, I think there are a number of teams that, you know, that we work with and that are out there that are actually have been building products that are very well suited to this. And so I think, you know, keeping an eye on what teams like Lore are building, or, you know, like Party are building are super interesting. They're trying to create a bit more coordination around the launch and issuance of these things, and kind of get some more flexibility on what the structure of them might look like. So yeah, I think you'll 100% agree. We'll see these integrated more into products, and I think that's a big opportunity. And just knowing where a bunch of these teams are right now, I think they sort of see this as a big opportunity. And so I expect to see some pretty interesting announcements over the next couple of weeks of new tools that are integrating meme coins that will kind of lead to new experiences. So I think that's interesting. I think like just generally pretty bullish on-chain distribution being media. You know, it's like the native way that something, you know, we don't have the news feed here, but we do have, you know, Etherscan or SoulScan or DexScreener or Birdeye interface. You know, I think so many people discovered so many, you know, just follow people there and see what people are. If you're following Peace right now, maybe you're getting a chance to see what the heck he's buying here. And so there's all this, and then of course, if you're, you know, in NFTs, mint.fun and sort of showing up trending there, or on Farcaster or on Lens. So it feels much more native. The way that these memes can spread is through tokens. And I think that's, there's still like a ton of unexplored space there.
Yeah, 100%. I really like thinking about meme coins through the lens of like, you know, they're like cultural shelling points, they're cultural prediction markets, they're social experiences. Like I think just like bundling those and
meme coin prediction markets, that's gonna be fun.
But it is, right?
I want more prediction markets.
You know, I mean, Boner. Why did Boner go crazy? Because it was just like in the like zeitgeist of the moment, right? People were like, "Oh shit, I'm buying Boner now." More people are gonna see Boner.
There are boners on my feed. Boner. I need to go buy. I mean, that's not the mental. But thought process I went through when I saw that, but I could see why people did. So.
But I think like Doge or a lot of the ones that I think have staying power, it's because there's like these, it's a bet on like the cultural relevance of this thing, right? Like the thing meme coins need is attention on kind of like the base underlying meme and constant like pointers back to that meme. And the more that exists and the more people know that there is this kind of shelling point for that meme, the more the demand there's going to be for the thing.
My favorite marketing guru is Al Ries. He wrote a book called 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing back in, it's got to be the 70s. Way out of date, but still super relevant. And one of the laws is the law of the ladder. It's got two: law of the category, law of the ladder. Categories, like we all, as consumers, kind of put things into categories in our mind to make sense of the world. So, there's sodas, there's chocolate bars, there's car rental cars. I think these are the examples he uses in the book. And that within those categories, there's this ladder where one will dominate the market, power laws at play here. And then there will be a valuable second one. And then basically everybody else is chasing for third spot. And so kind of the mental model I apply, if we sort of think like chains or ecosystems or platforms or kind of like the category, and then we'll likely see, a very dominant one, a second one, and then a whole bunch of the attention fighting for all the others. So not a surprise that you see the bonk be the big one, and then there being a whole bunch of people chasing the bottom stuff. And I'd expect you to see that. I think Doge is like the crypto leader of the meme coins, and so we'll still capture the lion's share of value. But I think we'll see that segmented out quite a bit.
Yeah, agreed.
So what are our bags?
Cool.
What are your bags right now, Peace? Before we move on to the next one here, what do we got? Tell us the tokens we got.
Well, we did the correct. I mean, this honestly. This is a great UX study right here in and of itself. What we're doing is trading the way that you shouldn't be trading. Like you probably shouldn't be using Radium. You probably shouldn't be just sitting here looking at new pairs. It seems like the fast way to do it is to be using like bots and Telegram, but I didn't want to crank open my Telegram and have all that alpha on the channel. So we're doing it the shitty way. And all these pairs are so fucking illiquid. It's like so hard to get in a trade. So I managed to scalp 0.1 Solana on reverse Silly Dragon. And I did the first thing that you should do when you come to Solana, which is immediately swap a bag for WIF. And so now we're the Internet Explorer's quant account is a WIF holder and 0.1 in profit. And we're on to the next one.
Buy a sandwich. Let's go.
Then go fuck off here is looking pretty interesting to me.
You need to draw some lines on that chart to suggest that something predictable is going to happen.
Oh, absolutely. No. I have never drawn a line on the chart, and I also will never.
Okay.
Because I don't know what I'm doing. But what I like to do is I like to look at these tabs, and I like to just look at the volume, and if you see like. Big tab guy, you see 122K go through this. Yeah, 237 in the last hour and 500 in the last 5 minutes. It's not looking good for capturing attention. Probably attention is elsewhere. So, yeah. I mean, that's as far as I've gotten.
I think just because you don't know what you're doing with drawing lines, I don't think stops anybody who draws lines on these charts. I actually think you just have to put that aside. You could read tea leaves, probably do the exact same thing. So you're more than capable and you have enough knowledge to go draw lines as much as any other technical trader, I would say. Shots fired to technical traders. All right, we haven't moved past our first one. Let's Josh, we don't get to the lightning round today, man. Oh my god.
Fuck. This is on me. Yeah. This is on me.
Yeah.
Cool. I mean, I think we had to touch on, outside of meme coins, like the big kind of theme of the week was the dynamic of Solana euphoria coupled with deep ETH cope. So I think just like wanting to talk about how just like narratives drive prices in crypto, and right now like ETH is just kind of stuck in the middle without one. Like Sol has the kind of like emerging Alt L1. It has a consumer chain narrative that's getting proven and reinforced in real time with meme coins. Then Bitcoin has, I think Ordinals is a pretty powerful one, but largely it has the ETF. So I don't know. It feels like ETH is just kind of stuck right now, and it also to me feels like the emergence of L2s have kind of like fragmented ETH like culture and attention and liquidity, and Solana's largely ripping because of like the culture it has and how many like obsessed people are just like passionately talking about it and propagating all the shit that's happening on it. And ETH had this, right, when everyone was on mainnet, ETH was a core asset everyone was rallying around, but now it kind of just feels like it's spread out across a bunch of competing ecosystems and assets that like don't actually, they captured like the attention and liquidity, but didn't fill like the cultural void created by like everyone moving off of mainnet or something. I don't know. Like if you're spending a bunch of time on Arbitrum, like, are you gonna own ETH or are you gonna own ARB? So I guess just it feels, and I expect a lot of this to get corrected, but right now it feels like ETH is kind of stuck between narratives.
Yeah, I mean, lots of people tweeting about ETH needs a main character, or maybe that's true. Yeah, I think it's whether you're a builder, it's as difficult as ever to decide where to go build your thing, even if you want to be on an EVM chain. Solana's obviously got the momentum and stuff behind it and the narrative push behind it. Bitcoin with, I think inscriptions on there. I mean, Bitcoin fees are greater than Ethereum fees this month, I believe, which is interesting, especially since there's been like a long-term overhang of how does Bitcoin sustain itself into the future. So, and I think a similar narrative is a part of Ethereum right now, where there's just a big question mark around how and where value will get captured as L2s emerge. I think a lot of the year-end reports, from Delphi, and I think Sorry as well, are kind of touching on that fact of where there's just a bit of a question mark around it. I still think like this is probably more pronounced today because it is in this early adopter category when people are looking for these new things. And still most people hate crypto, but I think when it starts to, that narrative breaks out of these sort of small areas, the big brands are going to be the big movers here. I think Solana is clearly now in that bucket of a big brand that I think will capture more wide stream attention, especially if it continues to rip. But I would expect to see, like the next ETF narrative is obviously going to be Ethereum. There's further off into the future, there's sort of like the restaking sort of, narrative that emerges. But I think we're kind of in a middle zone right now. Also, we're seeing reports of like the Celsius treasury selling off into ETH right now, which is a pretty big down pressure. So I'm definitely not writing ETH off, by any means like that. I think that would be a huge mistake, but clearly, narratives are driven by momentum. Momentum is on Solana right now, and I hate talking about it because I just did not buy enough. And I'm like wake up in the morning going, fuck.
Dude, it's like the last 2 days are it. Yeah. I mean, I think the funny thing is seeing, I think, some people just eventually, or they couldn't handle it any longer and like swap their ETH bag into Sol, which is like, this just feels like the obvious wrong time.
Oh, let's go buy tops. Let's go buy tops. That's what we do. We're top buyers. Let's do it.
Yeah. And like, I think to your point, like, ETF attentions turn into ETH. I think EIP 484 or whatever, that's going to like significantly lower gas fees on L2s is coming. I think L2s are going to have a moment. Like, I think there's lots of reason to still be like very optimistic about ETH in the next year. It's just, it's interesting how, like price drives narrative, which then drives price, and ETH is just kind of hasn't had that yet. But I think pretty quickly, like we'll have, little, if ETH has like a couple of 10% days back to back, the narratives will start to form following the price, and then that'll just like the reflexivity will take off. So I think actually, on this topic, go ahead.
No, go for it.
I was just gonna say on this topic before we move on, I think Jesse Walden resurfaced an old thread of his that was really good about him. Yeah, just recapping the book Narrative Economics. It's worth reading. I think the book just like discusses how narratives affect economic behavior, and he pulled out a bunch of examples of like the constellation of Bitcoin narratives that have carried it over the last decade, which is worth reading.
Yeah, it just reinforces the fact that in the last cycle we had Twitter and sort of social media being a thing in a way that it really wasn't in the previous cycles, was such a big driver of more volatility and attention and interest. And I think it's just a sign of the times to come. We're just more and more interconnected, and we're going to have more and more volatile, crazy things emerge. And narratives drive that value in crypto more than anything else. And I think people are realizing it probably drives value elsewhere as well. I mean, this is just the core thesis that we launched Seed Club with from day one. It's just taking new and different shapes, and I don't know, I like it. I mean, do I like it? It is what it is, and I think understanding I haven't brought up a golf reference today, but I think I do this all the time. You got to play the ball as it lies. Just got to play it as it lies, and narratives are what drive value here in crypto.
It's nice that you live in a warm enough place that you can continue using golf references through the winter.
I'm golfing tomorrow, baby. We got a tee time tomorrow, January 23rd, playing some golf. Let's go.
Ridiculous. Okay, cool. Let's move on to co-links. So they can, be kind of quick on this one, but definitely worth talking about. So the Coordinate team, who, if you're new here or weren't into DAOs a couple years ago, they built kind of one of a popular DAO contributor rewarding product that was pretty widely used in the early DAO days. So they just dropped a new product this week called Co-Links. It's basically like a professional network version of FriendTech, like LinkedIn smashed with FriendTech. And it's getting steady adoption, though viral, not yet viral adoption, which actually I think is making for a better product experience at this point. Like you can actually, it's kind of the circles that we hang out in or have hung out with. So we know a lot of the people there. People are writing thoughtful posts. It's post-based instead of kind of pure chat-based. There's like reputation systems that are kind of interesting in there. So anyways, I haven't played around it with a lot, but it's interesting kind of seeing, the FriendTech learnings, like the keys and the bonding curves taken into a new context.
Yeah, and we have a bunch of invites. If you want to DM me, if you're not on Co-Links yet, shoot me a DM on Twitter and I can drop a couple of invites there. And I think what I said to you, Josh, there's a bunch of interesting things happening there. To me, like the buying of the links and the FriendTech aspect of it is like by far the least interesting part of it. Part of that is based on their structure. Like it's very much like the way fees are split is really not that valuable to go speculate on these links. And it is, so the other interesting dynamic is that basically you buy somebody's link to have them in your feed. And so there is an increasing cost to expand your network on there, which, traditionally would be a really shitty idea, right? Like it's get in the way of building sort of network effects and stickiness and value for people. But I think it's, because it's so, orthogonal to what the normal way you would go build one of these networks is, it actually adds a new interesting design space there. So I'm intrigued by it. And definitely you're seeing, feels much more like a Reddit type experience, if you will. You're seeing a way more thoughtful post there. You're seeing people try to break it. You're seeing people try to build on top of it. And then they have, this whole product that they built in the back end around how value gets distributed through the Coordinate tools that are built in there as well. So I think the way it was pitched to me, I sort of was thinking of one way, and then I went and started playing around with it. I was like, oh, this is not what I was expecting. So definitely it's worth kicking the tires if you're not in there yet, and we can help you get in.
Yeah, I think like curating your own feed, like really making your own algorithm almost by buying keys is your feed algorithm is kind of cool. I think another reason I'm potentially like bullish on this is the amount of like business that actually flows through LinkedIn is exceptional, right? Like a lot of hiring, a lot of deal, like all this stuff powers actually the LinkedIn business. So having a LinkedIn built on crypto rails that with like reputation and can better facilitate kind of transactions it makes sense.
And I think that the need to buy in ultimately reduces the challenge as these networks get bigger and bigger. Like the value of each new person coming to your feed actually probably decreases the overall value you're getting. So you see that in most networks. Is definitely why I feel so a deep sense of shame for again bringing up the fact that we need your help. We need to go over to LinkedIn and follow Seed Club so we can go sign up the corporate bureaucrats that are over there. But it's just not interesting because of who's there and how I built that network earlier. In my but you trying to maximize the reach you have there is actually going to reduce the actual value you get there for any minute you spend there. And this dynamic's kind of flipped on its head here in Co-Link. So definitely interesting. Though I do see people still playing the FriendTech game, which is just like watching who joins and trying to buy their links earlier. So but I think people will quickly learn that it's not an obviously profitable thing to do in the way it was within FriendTech.
No. Yeah, I think the bonding curve is way less aggressive. There's maybe more fees on either side. So it's not, they disincentivize, there's still a speculative game, but disincentivize it a bit. I think it's going to live and die whether people actually want to go there and create interesting content, which I don't yet feel compelled to do. But I guess if there's enough people there, the economic incentives are there, then maybe I will.
Yeah, there's definitely some interesting conversations happening over there that I haven't seen elsewhere. So
Yep. All right, nice. Protocol rewards. So I think we talk about this pretty frequently, but protocol rewards continue being this like emerging protocol business model primitive and just like a great way to align incentives across protocol participants. So, again, it was largely popularized by Zora with their rewarding of the protocol refers and first collectors for all NFT mints, and then many others,
creator referrals
and creator referrals now too. Yeah. So, kind of this deep like referral ecosystem or protocol rewards popping up. And then just this week, both Mirror and Sound announced their protocol rewards. So I think this is really interesting for actually what you were touching on before, which is like it's like incentivizing the building out of this like on-chain media distribution ecosystem. As apps like, Zora has literally gifted apps front ends a business model, right? Like Mint.fun, Daylight, Interface, Zapper are all like building these like on-chain media discovery experiences, and they're like very incentivized to deliver the most interesting media and transactions to their users because they get a cut of anything they actually do. So I think like, just like continue being convinced this is like it's like the crypto native version of SEO, or like eventually will be, where, you make compelling on-chain media, you get your community and influential people to collect it. Then you get distribution through this like growing list of on-chain media distributors. You get discovered by new people. It's kind of this like really crypto native growth tactic.
Yeah, I have a very incomplete thought here on it. So I don't know if it's worth sharing, but I think the question of like, where does this go long term, and what are the incentives for apps that are actually able to start driving meaningful volume? Within these referral rewards, the lion's share of that value is still going to the protocol, right? So it's like you're 2/3, 1/3, whatever that breakdown is. And so I think there is ultimately an incentive here, especially as L2s become so much easier to roll out and less expensive to roll out, where we'll probably see, like, the question in my mind is like, is the natural place for most of these apps that grow to a certain size or scale and an ability actually to have their own chain, so that they can actually be far more aggressive incentivizers of referrals. So, if we go build something on Zora right now, and as an app on Zora, we're then, earning referral rewards and distributing those referral rewards, that is a percentage of a percentage that is ultimately going to the end user. Whereas from the Zora perspective, anybody coming in and driving traffic or volume on Zora, they're able to give a much larger reward and still actually, maintain some sort of profitability on the transactions that happen there. And you see, whether it's console, or you see what the Polygon team's doing with their SDK, or it's definitely a potential here where the world of L2s actually looks a lot more like the app chain theses that we saw maybe last cycle than just these sort of protocols on top of another protocol distributing rewards. But it's still a very expensive thing to go do today, and so you kind of would need to really be at a meaningful level or take a big bet on it. But I expect that to come down meaningfully, and it is like, if referral and protocol rewards are one clear business model that's emerging, the one that's very much here is the validator or L1, L2 type rewards that are being distributed for people securing the chain, and that's like the OG original revenue model for crypto projects. So watching it closely.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, right? Yeah, especially as like Celestia 100x like decreases the cost of actually of like data availability, launching rollups gets increased.
Theoretically,
you gotta think we're moving to this world, theoretically, where I think like right to your point, right now you need, I don't know what that number is. Be curious what kind of like transaction volume you actually need for it to make for an L2 or app chain to make sense, but that's just gonna keep coming down.
Yeah, well, we were looking earlier. I think like Zora spent just over $200,000 on settlement alone back to the ETH chain. I think generated $1.6 million of revenue off of it, but overall costs are probably closer to 1.3. These are numbers I'm probably just making up, but I think there's clearly these L2s are spending a lot to settle onto ETH, but they're making more on top of that. So there's margin there.
Yeah, it's interesting. Okay, cool. What time are we at here? 150. Okay, let's very quickly fly. So I added the Zora. So Zora added cross-chain minting, which it's cool. I think it's kind of this emerging thing. Decent is powering it. Reservoir is also, I think, maybe powering the liquidity piece of it. I just think it's like really interesting considering where it's going when you can mint on any chain from any chain and not have to bridge. Like where does that go? Like it's kind of, Go ahead.
I mean, I always think of L1s and L2s as their own countries, and there's like meaningful borders between these countries before, and so it actually reinforced like the culture there. And I think the open question in my mind is what happens when that border is open. Does it actually dilute the where that culture gets built? Or the culture starts moving from sort of the base infrastructure into the more of the apps or the protocols that are built on top of them? I don't know, but it's definitely there's a shift in user behavior and perception that is embedded in just being able to click buy rather than being able to sort of having to switch your network and do all that sort of stuff. Right. So I would expect it actually has an impact. I don't know what it will be though.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like just kind of like this weird step before like chain just gets abstracted largely, right? It's like previously it was like you had to bridge, then it was in your face what chain you were on. Now it's like you can be anywhere as long as you have ETH somewhere. You can mint this thing, it's going to get mint on that chain. You can even do like the back and forth, like you can mint on another chain and have it come to your wallet in the chain.
What's the cost associated with this? Like it feels like it's got to be more expensive to do it that way than not. Do we know?
I'm not sure.
If somebody knows, drop some links in the chat. I would love to do a bit more research on that.
Yeah, if Will from Decent maybe listening. So if you are, drop it.
Tell us, Will. Inform us.
Okay, cool.
All right,
let's move on so we can get to the lightning round. Actually, let's check in with Peace first. Peace, how are we doing?
Yeah, what do we own? Oh, we lost Peace. He's gone too far. Meme coin.
He's been
sorry. Yeah, I was muted.
He got
we are damn near, dude. It's brutal running like this. But what am I in? I'm in a Trump coin. I went too deep. Now I'm in a Trump coin. Hell, I knew I shouldn't have smoked that shit.
Is it Trump with hat?
Oh my god.
I think so.
Oh yeah.
So I did. Okay, it's so funny because I saw it on Twitter. I saw that meme come by, and then of course there's like instant coin. Trump. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh man.
All right.
This is giving me BNB energy, man. Such BNB energy here today. Solana's this year's BNB. I love it. All right.
Let's see.
He's taking some
catch
gains
a
right
bid
now.
here.
Nice.
Yeah, let's get out of this trade. Let's get out of this damn trade.
Nope.
Okay, if we can, this price is going to move too much. I'm going to have to.
All right, let's jump into lightning round here because
we
got 7 minutes left.
Nice. Okay, what do you think about? What do you think about this?
I mean, I think it's one of the most.
This is the best tweet of the week.
I've ever seen.
This is so I'll read it out for those who may be listening to this afterwards. This is from Downbug, exceptional name. You should be shitcoin maxing. You should be buying coins with names that would hospitalize your grandmother, built on technology which would vaporize a Victorian child. You should be gambling a small house on the medic power of cats and hats. You should be shitcoin maxing. That line of built on technology, which would vaporize a Victorian child, is some of the best words I've seen on the internet in the last little while. It is the title of this week's mintable episode on pods.media. So if you want to go mint that, Peace designed a Victorian child with laser eyes there that you need to go look at and mint. I love the internet.
So good.
Peace,
can you pull up
hospitalizer?
Can you pull up Vance's tweet too? Because I think that's just one that's worth servicing.
What do we got? Vance's
it's like
tweet.
What's his name?
Oh yeah.
What's that one? Yeah, I think this one just.
Strong consumer founders should build crypto apps because there's zero competition, a hotbed of users wanting to try stuff, and the TAM is gigantic. You can be Godzilla on day one and liquid with the token. Why would you just keep simping in Web 2? The real question, in my opinion. I mean, I think we talk about if I really want to copy trade Nikita Bear's on-chain address somewhere because a guy who's he's literally built for building crypto stuff. Like, the founder of a whole bunch of social apps that have incredible sort of feedback loops that have launched into craziness, and he's sold at the top and made a ton of money off of. Like there are so much talented people who've just been understanding viral loops in the Web 2 world that I think when they come over into Web3, are just going to be absolute monsters in, driving value here. So yeah, I think I retweeted that. Definitely, it was interesting. I think we saw last cycle like a lot of people come in as the hype popped up. A lot of, I think, people in the ecosystem called them tourists. These sort of Web2 founders coming into Web3. A lot of money flowed to them, and very few of them sort of stuck around as the market went down. I think my guess is it's different this time. I think there's a lot of those folks have stuck around, are now part of the sort of the in the culture and early into the cycle. And I think you'll start to see some pretty interesting things develop. It's definitely what we've seen through, C Club Ventures, just like really, really accomplished builders coming with a big vision that's truly like crypto native rather than sort of just trying to crypto adopt at the top of the cycle. So
it was also just so hard to actually like build anything.
I mean,
you had to want to get in.
Thing.
You had to want to get into the weeds of blockchains to really like build here. And I think the people, like Nikita or these like viral app product builders, they largely don't. Like they're more interested in like they're like socially and like culturally ambitious. They're more interested in like think about like viral mechanics and like low level blockchain infrastructure. So I think we're finally at the point where they can come and build this shit.
We shall see.
Peace.
Man,
okay.
We got one more.
That was well, the good news is we got out of that trade. So
thank God.
Are we up?
So we're doing good. I mean, look, we're up to 5.79 SOL, and we have a bag of whiff. So we're up, baby.
We're good. Let's ride this to Valhalla.
That's right. Straight to the freaking moon. We got one from Tensor.
I like this Tensor. Okay, so yeah, I'll read it. So he said, trends in crypto have really been twists on trading games. Meme coins is a trading game on absurdity. NFTs is a trading game on culture and illiquidity. Friend tech is a trading game on FOMO and crypto Twitter. The ones that endure must be general enough to have infinite design space for subgames, but focused enough on a singular key human impulse. Meme coins and NFTs have proven to have sufficient capacity and enduring replay value. Friend tech is arguably too constrained since the meta beyond alpha chat rooms is yet to surface.
I love that this app is, I guess it's not free anymore, but it's pretty much free. Like that's a great tweet.
Yeah, it
is a great tweet.
It's having a mental framework for how to go do these things well, or at least where to try to innovate and put a twist in, I think is super interesting. And I see, I mean, the biggest challenge with builders that are trying to build meme coins is that it's like almost impossible to be a smooth brain if you're deep in the weeds of the technology. And I think that's clearly not what people are looking for here. So I love this sort of general enough, but also focused enough perspective. Yeah, super useful.
I mean, it's kind of back to our like interest in ephemeral games, right? It's like hard to build this like persistent, constrained experience that people are going to care about for a long time. But if you can tap into this like enduring replay value of meme coins and NFTs, but still like build something.
Think of meme as the L1, and then people building. You want to have integrations and new apps being built on top of it, new experiments being built on top of it. And, yeah, good tweet. All right, we don't have enough time for another one, but we did get to the juicy parts of the lightning round. Thank you all for coming and hanging out with us. The chat was lovely and active and bizarre and crazy, and I need to make it bigger because I squint to try to see it here on my little screen. It's next year, but we're here at every Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific time. We'll be here next week. We're here next week. We're gonna be here with those folks.
We got Cheryl stepping in for Peace Node. So who knows what's gonna happen?
That's gonna be unhinged in new and exciting ways. Love seeing the mints in the stream here for this week's episode. Thanks to Pods.media for just continue to push that forward. It gets easier and easier every week. Love what they're up to over there. And once again, if you're listening to us right now and you have not gone and followed us on LinkedIn, I hate you, and you're not welcome back. Just don't come up here again. I'm going to search. I'm going to go through our transaction records here. I'm going to map it to LinkedIn people, and I'm going to come and find you. I feel like this is what you have to do to go build audience on LinkedIn. Is that right? Am I doing it right? Is that growth hacking? I'm a growth hacker.
I don't know what you got to do.
Who knows what you got to do?
I don't want
Damn.
to. I don't want
Okay,
to know.
you guys don't trade like me. I just got this. You got to look at this. This is Michael Jordan saw the stream, and
When I'm going in the trenches, I played against and with all these guys. I'm going with who I know.
yeah, and he knows that I'm going to trade like a fucking idiot here in Radium in the browser. So don't be like me. Yes.
Just excellence right there. All right. Happy holidays to all y'all. Thank you again for showing up. This is probably the funnest part of my week, and seeing folks show up quite regularly here is just a touch. This is the Christmas miracle that I am most looking forward to appreciate this year. We're going to be back again next Friday. I wish you all a relaxing time in the trenches with Michael Jordan trading meme coins. Stay liquid, and we'll see you again in a week.
Happy holidays.